I said Ramborolics, goddammit. Change the name to Ramborolics.
Ramborolics. Ramborgia. Why can't we make peace and love?
Friday morning.
I'm gonna download the show. Doesn't matter which side you're on, as long as you spread the disease.
Hello, Schnoz lovers, and welcome. This is JohnRamboPresents the show. My name is John, and I'm joined by the man who really loves to punch some holes. Ladies and gentlemen, OJ is here.
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
How's it going today, sir?
It's going pretty well, I think.
You think? You're not sure.
I don't know. We'll have to see how the day turns out.
Figure that out as we progress here. Maybe you can give us updates, status updates.
Well, it's getting better now that we're doing the show.
Well, absolutely.
Darn right.
This is the best part of the week, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, welcome everyone to the show. Before we get deep into the bowels of this week's episode, I want to talk about last week's episode. I want to thank our guest from last week, the award-winning voice of GLaDOS in the Portal series, the lovely Ellen McLean, who's on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
If you haven't checked that out yet, there's obviously something wrong with you, because it was, in fact, a great interview. I'm very personally proud of it. Really enjoyed the conversation that we had with Ellen. Highlights of the interview for me was when I demanded an apology for GLaDOS' insults. And she also mentioned that she never received the Spike TV award that she won. It was never sent to her by Spike TV. It was kind of funny. So what did you think of the Ellen McLean interview, OJ?
I thought it was great. I felt a little bad when she told me that asking her if assuming the character of GLaDOS was difficult or was as easy as incinerating a companion cube, and she called me out saying that was a low blow. I felt kind of bad about that, but she took it all.
That was good stuff, man. I think it was really well done. I think we did a great job.
Yeah, it was
pretty
fun.
happy with it.
Well, we couldn't have done it without her. She's amazing.
Right. Oh, she was great.
Oh yeah, and the week before, John Patrick Lowry
absolutely
one after the other. They were both such amazing people.
Definitely professionals.
Very.
Unlike us. Yeah.
Oh boy! Every time you bring up that word, trouble happens.
All right. So having her on the show is definitely a big deal, I think. And we're going to talk about that more later on. So stay tuned for that, my Ramborgia brothers and sisters. So that was last week. This week on the show, we're now at episode 21, which is pretty crazy. What I like to do with the episodes that end in a 1 is we do the sitcom flashback episode, where we talk about the previous 10 episodes, give our thoughts and some backstory on those turn of events in those episodes. So, just like we did that with episode 11. You remember that?
Oh my gosh, that was 10 episodes ago. Wow.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, it was crazy. That was like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. So
usually this is done by sitcoms. You know, when they have no original content for an episode, they'll rely on previous footage and previous episodes to make a new episode. It's kind of like a cheap way to make an episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what we're doing. That's not the deal here. We have many things to talk about, not just that.
Mm-hmm.
Including what all the kids are talking about in the schools, the latest hot trend, everyone's painting their noses blue, OJ. Do you know this? People are going to school, to church. People in the streets, businessmen too, not just kids, I shouldn't say that. All ages, painting their noses. This week was, of course, the debut of Schnoz-man and HolePunch, the Justice Lease. Brand new series that has shaken the very core of the earth. So today, for the main event of the show, instead of having a guest on to talk about what they've been doing, we've been doing stuff.
Yeah, fancy that.
Right, yeah, we've been doing our own stuff. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to interview ourselves, give some details on how this madness came about, and how we made it, where it's going, and things like that.
Interviewing ourselves? Usually when I ask myself questions, it's a little more depressing than... Just kidding. Anyway. The joke sounded better in my head.
Well, next week, hopefully we'll have a psychiatrist on to talk to you.
Because I obviously need one.
Yes. So, OJ has a special announcement. It was previously announced on Twitter. This will be the official show announcement. OJ, take it away, sir.
Well, after a few false starts and We are limping out of the gate, ladies and gentlemen, and the GeekFireGifts.com, official home of official John Rambo Presents and Project 7 t-shirts store, is open. We have taken some orders, and we have sent some out already, so we're underway. We're cooking with gas. We're all set. We're selling stuff. We're having a good time.
Why don't you tell everybody what the address is?
They know. Just kidding. It's the address of the store is www.geekfiregifts.com/shop.
Okay. So after your tireless efforts for a month and a half,
yeah, it was
store's
a nightmare.
Up. It looks so far so good. There's been no problems, right?
As far as I can tell, I mean, I can't tell the difference between. It's weird. It seems like every now and then, somebody will get to the about to pay stage, and I can't tell if they tried to pay or just left something in the cart and signed out of the site, because it shows up the same way on the site's interface. You know, for me, you know.
Well, no one's really said they've had any problems. So
I mean, if anyone's having problems, please let us know. Someone said that the Google checkout thing didn't show up for them, but I haven't heard anything else from them since. So I'm guessing.
If you have a problem, contact John at GeekFireGifts.com.
Yeah, we're happy to help you out. I've actually got.
Yeah, it seems like there's been smooth sailing.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Except for the first day, there was black bold text saying,
"Oh gosh,
that the store is not up. You cannot purchase things, and we will not send them if you do."
That was terrible.
And people were sending me messages like, "It says the store's not open." I'm like, "It is open."
Yeah, well, we both
and then
looked at the store.
I talked to you, and you're like, "Oh wait, yeah, I forgot to take that out."
I didn't even see that, dude. We both looked at the store like a ton of times, and that never. Like, I never saw that. I never, like, in all the times I looked at it. And you didn't see it either.
I didn't see it, but it's gone. So the store is open. You get your Project 7 shirts. John Represents the Show, official shirt.
Yep.
Not many left, so you got to get on that.
Yeah, and pretty soon there will be candles.
Okay, yeah. What's up with the candles? You didn't put them on yet.
Yeah, I've been spending all the time trying to get it going for the shirts and stuff. Because, you know, that affects you guys, whereas the candles only affects me. I wanted to, you know, make sure you guys were up and running first. But expect the candles coming soon.
All right, so I want to thank everyone that did purchase a shirt. I personally packaged the shirts and shipped them today. Took them all to the post office. And they went to a variety of places, the shirts, such as Hawaii, several to the UK, England, big time. So, big variety of locations.
International orders, A-OK.
Yes. So I personally wrote out the addresses on the packaging, which I probably won't do again. It was kind of I don't know why I did that. It was kind of time-consuming. I'll probably just print the labels next time, but if you got one this week, you got a nice handwritten package from me, my handwriting on it. And if you are one of the beautiful people that purchased the shirt, please send us a picture of you wearing the shirt. Send it to stayballsy@gmail.com. Because I would like to put the picture in an actual episode of the show. And that could be any of the shirt. You brought the Project 7 or the show shirt. Take your picture, send it to us, and we'll put you in the slideshow.
Nice.
So please do that. And shirts are going quick. So if you want one, get on it right now. Because I don't know if we'll be getting more or not.
That all depends on you, my friends.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work, so...
Yeah, oh, yeah, gosh.
For, you know, it's a lot of work for us, so, I mean, we obviously got a lot of stuff going on with this kind of stuff, with the personal lives, and...
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. This might be... I don't know. You want one, get it now. So that'll be it. Thank you to everyone that did get one. That's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are amazing.
So, one of the things I want to talk about this week, a brand new game came out that I got, and for once, OJ actually got the game, too.
I didn't even have the console.
I don't even know if this has happened yet, where we both got a new game.
And I think I played it first.
Well, yeah.
But that never happens.
I'm busy, man. Okay?
I'm busy, too.
So, yeah, you actually bought a PS3 just for this game.
Uh-huh.
The game's Twisted Metal. We both got it. We're going to talk about it. So, you just got a PS3 for this game. What are your impressions of the PS3 now that you're, like, a new owner of it? So, let's start with that. What are you thinking about it?
The second I turned it on and put a disc in, it sounds like a dying cat.
And you have the new one.
I have the Slim, the Uncharted bundle. So it came with Uncharted 3.
Like a dying cat. It sounds better than the Xbox does.
Nah, my Xbox is whisper quiet. This thing sounds like a dying cat.
Well, I have the original PS3. It sounds better than the Xbox does.
Oh, probably does. Honestly, I'm worried that there's something effed up with it because it is so loud. And it takes forever to load the game. I don't know if you've had this problem. It takes forever. It's just sitting there.
Twisted Metal seems like it takes a while when it first goes in.
Okay.
It'll sit the Twisted Metal screen.
Yeah. Now, as far as
no, my PS3 is not loud at all. Like it's the older one.
Yeah.
The only problem with it is it weighs 15 pounds, and it heats up my entire room. I could turn off in the winter. I could turn the heat off and just power and heat the room with the PS3.
Nice.
Yeah.
But my impressions of the console as a whole, the controllers are all right. The fact that they give you a 3-foot USB cord that it only charges it while the console is on.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing on the face of the planet. The lack of an HDMI cable is just gouging by Sony. An HDMI cable is $4, like retail $4. You're paying $300, and they can't throw in a $4 HDMI cable.
I think the Xbox did give it, and then they stopped.
It did with they did with the Elite.
And then I don't think they do anymore, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the Wii doesn't give you the component cables, so nah.
Right. Well, that's a classic way for the console makers to screw you.
Well, it's funny.
All the proper cords.
I got an HDMI cable for $4, right? The store I was at, they were selling them for $60. Come on. Anyway.
Yeah, you can find them cheap.
Yeah, all right. So now my impressions of the PS3, I'm a little bit late to the game, I know. The user interface is pretty good. It's nice. The thing that I hate the most, though, is that signing up for an account, I typed in my email address. My email address is 1 character longer than they'll allow. I was so ticked off.
So what'd you have to do?
I had to use another email address. Like, I have one email
address. Doesn't matter, though, because it's not like you need your email address for that.
It's just pretty terrible, though. That's just mean. I can't have a 14 character email address or an 18 or whatever. Come on, guys.
You got the store?
The PlayStation Store? I checked it out long enough just to get Twisted Metal Black and Axel.
How do you get Axel?
You didn't get Axel, man?
How did you do it?
I pre-ordered the game, and it came with the pre-order Axel code.
I don't know. Maybe it's in the box. I don't know.
Mine wasn't in the box. Mine was emailed to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got Twisted Metal Black.
Oh yeah, which doesn't have the online function. I checked.
Right.
But
of course not.
Now,
the Sony store is good though. It has stuff that you can't get on the Xbox. For instance, I have like all the old Final Fantasies.
They have
like
all of them?
4, 5, and 6. They have 4, 5, 6
yeah.
up to 9, I think, from 4 to 9, something like that.
All those games. That's a pretty good deal.
So you can get stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like the PS1 Classic you can't get on the Xbox. So there's some cool stuff on there.
It's pretty sweet.
So Twisted Metal itself, let's talk about that.
All right.
I still don't have your PSN name, by the way. But
I emailed it to you.
I must have deleted it.
Thanks.
But what do you think about the game?
You
were a fan of the original games. You're a big fan.
I love 1 and 2
for the game.
I love 1 and 2. I love Black. Now, looking at this game, if any of you have ever heard of the series by Egoraptor called Sequelitis, watch the Mega Man X episode, and that explains my feelings for this game. They basically assume that the player is a moron. The game is fun. I like it. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm enjoying it a lot, but they seriously assume that the player... It's a mature-rated game, right? They assume that, I guess, your average, 17 or 18-year-old player is a moron. Your health
Why do you say
low.
this?
Your health is low. You'd better go to a garage. Your death is imminent. Pick up some health. I'm like, really?
Well,
is that what that blinking red warning sign means? I'm sorry.
You haven't played a new game in a long time, I think. This is kind of how games are now. So it doesn't really bother me that much. I know you told me this bothers you. It sounds like Shao Kahn, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, the voice is, honestly,
excellent.
If they had to pick a voice
Finish
for that,
him. It's Shao Kahn's voice, what do you mean? They ripped it off.
Yeah, but dude, if they had to pick a voice for it, I mean, they didn't do half bad.
That's how games are now. You can't really complain about that, because I don't know if you turn that off or not, I'm not sure.
I have to check, because...
Well, no, that's how games are now. They kind of instruct you as you go.
If you're losing the race, pick a faster car. Really? Oh, no! I was bringing the truck.
What about the actual gameplay and stuff?
Oh,
I feel like it's Twisted Metal.
It's it's Twisted Metal with a few quirks.
I like the garage thing. I think it's cool.
Well, they explain. See, what I noticed about this game is they got rid of almost all of the, aside from Sweet Tooth's hair being on fire, they got rid of, from what I've seen, they've gotten rid of all the supernatural aspects of Twisted Metal. At least thus far that I've seen in the.
Is this supposed to be the storyline's a reboot, or is it a continuation?
I don't know, because Dollface looks like the Dollface from Black, but
and Calypso is like that's definitely Calypso, like
yeah.
Totally. This, whoa, you joined my competition. I will destroy. He's goofy as hell, but
I mean, the gameplay is fun. Now they've simplified the controls a lot since Black. In Black, you could steer with the D-pad or the analog.
D-pad,
oh yeah, antlers, woo. No, you can steer with the D-pad or the analog stick in the old version, and then to do the freeze and all that other stuff, you do button combinations like left, right, up, left, right, down to drop mines or turn on your shield and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now you just steer with the analog stick on the default control scheme, and you hit up for freeze, down for fire backwards.
Well, it's more of the 2012 era, simplifying.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's not a big deal. I mean, the analog stick is fine for steering. That's fine, and the game is fun. The weapons feel like they used to.
Mm-hmm. It feels like doesn't feel like. I'm not sure. It feels a little bit like 2.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's not 1.
No, and it's not Black exactly.
No, it feels good though. It feels like Twisted Metal.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit easier in the regular fights, I think, than it used to be, as evidenced by the fact that I've won some of them.
Yeah, the regular fights aren't that. I actually completed the Sweet Tooth storyline.
Yeah,
and I didn't play online yet. That's all I did was the Sweet Tooth stuff.
Yeah,
but anything where it was a straight up match, where you win like a death match, like 6 other cars, like I would kill it.
Yeah,
but then they had the special ones where you're gonna stay inside the grid.
Yeah, that was tough.
Or I did that one the first try. It was long.
Yeah, well, I got
the racing I like, because I like racing games a lot.
Yeah,
so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, seriously, the racing thing, I got stuck there. I haven't been able to beat the racing part yet.
I did. It took me a couple tries.
What car did you use?
Not Roadkill. There's one that's like Roadkill.
Death Warrant?
No, I can't remember.
All right, Kamikaze probably.
No, it wasn't Kamikaze.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll look for things that look like Roadkill.
It was a smaller car.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It was fun because it's like, well, Twisted Metal's cars, so why don't they race? It was kind of like, okay.
It was kind of an obvious thing that they never thought of, they were not able to implement properly before.
Right. Or maybe I don't know, maybe they felt like it was supposed to be combat or racing.
I don't know. The race was, I mean, it's fun, but I mean, if you're in anything but a fast car, you will lose. Because you can't catch up to the fastest.
Just keep pumping the turbo.
There's no blue shells this time, friends.
Right.
So it actually feels like an accomplishment when you win.
So, back to the controls, though.
Yeah.
In the old ones, you didn't have to hold the button down. You can just hold up, and you can move like that.
Yeah.
But this one, you have to hold the ignition.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah. So, I like the presentation of the game a lot. What do you think about that? It's got like a Sin City, like a grindhouse type of thing with actor. I was like, what the hell? These are real people. I didn't know this.
Well, at first, it's hard to tell because they kind of wash it out a bit, at least in the beginning of Sweet Tooth's storyline. Mm-hmm. But it's weird. It's actually not bad. When you compare it to like
I really like it.
Moving stills from Black.
Well, there's only like 3 characters for the storyline mode, right?
That makes me sad.
Do you think that's because they didn't want to hire actors and make more movies?
Either that, or they're going to sell us more characters.
Sell you different character storyline things.
Yeah, that would make me really sad, but it would.
Well, think about it though. Like to do all those different characters, you'd have to hire and create all those different
scenes,
movies, basically for each guy. So maybe they were like, no, we'll just do 3.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was one of the most fun things in Twisted Metal, though. Like playing through it with all the different characters to see what their effed up stories were and to get to the ending. I mean, Black was amazing for that. Just seeing everyone's twisted, destroyed, ruined, horrible lives. Just
It still has that though. Like with I got to Sweet Tooth Sandy. I don't know if you got that far.
No, dude, I'm still stuck on the race, man.
With the race, yeah.
But one thing that I noticed about the game, I mentioned it briefly before. It looks like they got rid of all the vaguely supernatural aspects in it. Now, I don't know how Calypso's going to grant everyone's wish. Maybe they all have mundane wishes. I mean, Sweet Tooth can be granted without magic easily. But if you'll note, the freeze is no longer a magic ice beam. It's like this electric shot that shorts out the engine of your car.
Yeah, for a while I didn't know what that was. I was like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it freezes people. Okay.
And Shadow's special, which used to be a supernatural shadow that ran across the floor, it's now a coffin that magically floats along, but maybe there's wheels. I don't know. The Ricochet is not some random bomb. It's an RC car. I mean, they kind of made everything plausible in some obnoxious, silly way. It's still ridiculous, but it's not hocus pocus.
I like that though. It's kind of like back to the original game where it was more like just these cars are fighting. They have guns.
Yeah,
they got out of hand. By that time they were in like Antarctica racing and or fighting there and
oh yeah,
on Mars or whatever, the spaceship, like that, it got out of control.
Some of the endings in 2 were just absurd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they simplified a lot of stuff. I think the game is good. It's a lot of fun. I mean it's so funny that it came with Black because comparing it's
cool.
Weird. Like it's like Black was really, I don't know if you can call it a hardcore game. But it was tough.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, and aside from the race, see, this is the difference in my mind between the difficulty of Black and the difficulty of some of the special sections in this. Black, it was hard. I mean, you had to scrape by the skin of your teeth to get through.
Yeah.
Just some fights, and the boss fight, some of the boss fights, depending on what car you were nearly impossible. Now, in the race scene here, though, like the race mission and like that doesn't feel hard. That feels like, I mean, because it just gets hopeless after a while if you're not doing it quite right. You gotta. I feel like
you just have to know what to do. There's like different shortcuts you can take and things.
Yeah. I think if you take the shortcuts,
plus you also have to kill people. I killed a lot of people that I won.
My main thing though,
they kept passing me. Yeah. Like the final lap, or whatever. Like each guy I killed each one as they passed me. So you have to get a lot of stuff as you're driving.
Oh yeah, so you just get somebody passes.
You just pick up a ton of stuff. You pump the turbo.
Yeah, the whole time.
I don't think turbo ends in that level. Like you just keep using it the entire time.
The cars also have a new feature which drains about 2/3 of your turbo gauge. If you're using turbo and then you shake the controller, hey guys, motion controls, whee!
Yeah, I didn't do that. Maybe that will help you.
I don't know. It drains.
I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, no.
The only reason to do that is if you're about to pick up another turbo.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I did the tutorial. I was like, I'm not doing this ever. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
So I really like the music.
Yeah, that was well done.
You had Straight Outta Compton by NWA, which is one of my favorite groups ever, my favorite songs ever. And Rob Zombie returns to Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
He's not a playable character in this one like he was in Twisted Metal 4, but his music is back. So I like it. I think we should. I didn't get to play online yet. I heard the servers were messed up anyway. So
yeah, I was able to log last night when I first tried to play. I couldn't get in, but last night I was able to log into the online servers. I mean, I didn't play online, but I logged in.
They patched the game, I think, the first night.
Yeah,
and then I couldn't get the patch. Like it wouldn't download. So the first night I just had to play offline. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I still haven't tried to play people, so we'll have to do this and talk about it maybe next week or something.
Yeah.
Actually, we should set something up. I definitely want to set something up with everyone that all the Ramborgia, except the Ramborgia room.
You can do 16 players?
I think so. So what we'll do is follow us on Twitter, and then we will at some point this week maybe we'll have a game people can join.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And that'll be the plan. And then maybe next week we'll announce more like an official day on next week's show. But
okay,
that's the plan right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just okay. One last thing.
Let's go now. Yes.
They don't have Spectre unless Spectre is downloadable or unlockable. They don't have Spectre, and that was my favorite car.
I always laugh when Axel's back because
dude,
he should never existed, but he's so goofy that he just gets to be in every one of them.
Well, it's funny. I was trying to beat the race as Axel because he has moderate speed. His car is like one of the widest cars in the game. His special, the wheels compact around your character, and sprout spikes, and you crush other cars, and it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is though, when you do that, your turning radius goes down to nothing. So if you need to get around a really tight turn but don't want to lose speed, you can activate the special and just go cut right through.
The thing with the garage is actually a great idea because the other games you would get injured and then you would just drive around forever looking for health.
Yeah.
So now you just drive to you drive around looking for your other cars.
Yeah, and there's the health,
which is actually better because you feel like you're doing something.
Yeah, and one other
instead of just be like, I'm driving around looking for a stupid health pack. It's all right. Yeah.
Another cool thing, talking about how they removed some of the magic hokey pokey stuff. You don't get multiple lives anymore. If you die, you're dead. You go to the garage, you basically get 3 lives. You change your car.
Right.
And it slowly heals in there. And they do put health on your radar a bit too, which is nice.
Yeah, they do, and you can see it from the graphics are awesome. Like the level, the Suburbia level.
Yeah.
Where you're driving and like getting hit and rolling, and you're just going through house after house after house.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, what the hell? It's pretty awesome, man. You go into I got blown like through 5 houses into the school. I was like, oh, this is crazy shit. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll set something up to play everybody. So
nice.
Let us talk about something that we don't usually talk about here on the show.
Oh boy, I know what's coming.
Let us talk about sports, OJ.
Yeah.
Wild world of sports. We didn't even mention the Super Bowl on the show.
Well, I was at the Book of Mormon while it was happening, so
Did you get to watch any of it?
I didn't see it, man.
I know you're a Boston sports fan, even though you were born in New York. You're from New York.
I was born in Virginia, dude.
Oh yeah. You're from New York, and you love the Boston sports team.
My dad's from Boston.
Your team lost.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always a shame when a New Jersey team wins, but I would have rooted for the Bills or the Jets over the Patriots. You know, okay.
Right. Oh, really?
Even though they're both in the AFC. But
and I'm a Jet. I haven't watched football in years, and mainly because I'm a Jets fan, and I just gave up.
There's no reason to watch.
I was back in the Vinny Testaverde days.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, me too, dude. Remember, our friend Mark was a diehard Jets fan, and he converted.
I remember, yes. And then I kind of lost my way, and I haven't really watched football in a long time.
Yeah.
I did watch the Super Bowl, and it was a great game, so I really enjoyed it. The Giants won, for people that don't know, if they didn't heard yet.
Yeah, the Giants won more than the Patriots lost. Like, they wanted that win, and they got it.
So, today we're going to talk about something, because we have no choice but to talk about it.
Because everyone else is?
Well, I have the right to talk about it because,
you do.
As I will explain, I mentioned in the past my favorite sport is basketball.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite team, the New York Knicks.
Yes, indeed.
But maybe you at home right now, you don't like the Knicks. Maybe you don't like basketball. Maybe you don't care for any sports. You don't like sports. You like other things. No, knitting quilts. I don't know, whatever.
That's respectable.
Yeah, this is a story that transcends sports, okay? It's a story about having a dream, putting in the time and the work, and maybe because you weren't given a proper shot, the right opportunities didn't present themselves, maybe people just didn't believe in you, things don't quite work out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But like this individual did, you don't give up. You plant your feet and say, I'm a man. This is what I was meant to do. This is my time. And you seize the moment. You climb that mountaintop and you live the dream, finally. So here's the details. I'm a Knicks fan. I've been a fan my entire life. I've been to a ton of games over the years at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, including the 93-94 playoff runs when the team was really good. We had John Starks, Patrick Ewing, all those games against Michael Jordan's Bulls. I saw that stuff, and the Pacers, and it was all great times.
Yeah.
I was at the finals in '99. But the last several years have been rough for Knicks fans. They've been kind of like the joke of the NBA. Until last year when they added Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony to the team, and they actually made the playoffs last year, so that was good, and step in the right direction.
It began.
Right, and then this year the NBA was on lockout, so they were on strike for half the year, and the season finally started on Christmas Day. It was supposed to start around Halloween.
The snow held it back.
Yeah, so Christmas Day it starts, and the Knicks added Tyson Chandler, who's a defensive-minded player, and that's what the Knicks had a problem with, was defense. So people were like, oh, the Knicks are going to be really good. This is a great team they put together. High hopes, But no, they sucked. And I actually had the opportunity to go to a few games. I could have gone, but I was like, no, I don't want to go. I refused to go because I could barely watch them on TV. Because I'm a big fan. I'm at the point where if I watch them do poorly, it affects me my personal life.
Yeah, I can understand.
It brings me pain to see something I love, so in such a bad condition. So I can't even watch.
It's like watching the Red Sox in the fall.
Oh yeah,
they fall apart every autumn. But
right, so I'm like, I can't watch, right?
Yeah.
And the height of the Knicks sucking came during a 10-game stretch. They lost 9 games, 9 out of 10 games. 7 games under 500, so they had 7 more losses than wins, right?
Yeah.
And then their big star players, Maury Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony, they're out. They can't play.
They got injured, or?
Carmelo was injured, and Amari had a death in the family, and he was going to miss like over a week.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to miss several games. So there's 7 games under 500. The star players are out, and it's a shortened season. So if they lose like another 5, 6, 7 games during this period, the season's basically shot because they're going to be in a hole, that it's going to be very hard to dig yourself out of.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? They have to use some players that they previously hadn't used because now there's vacancies on the roster. And the player that they put in at the point guard position is a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin, he's been sitting on the bench since he joined the team. He joined the team later in the season. Okay, so let's take a look at his history in basketball before this.
Yes, let's.
All right, he played basketball at Harvard. He went to Harvard. He was an okay player.
Grades?
During college. His grades were okay? I don't know.
Well, he went to Harvard. They must have been pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure they're okay. So he goes to Harvard, he plays basketball at Harvard. He enters the 2010 NBA draft. He's not drafted. No team selection. Does he give up? He does not give up. He plays on 4 different D-League teams, which is like the minor leagues, the D-League. That's what they call the minor league in basketball. Last year, at the age of 22, he gets a chance to play for the Golden State Warriors, which is an NBA team. He plays in 29 games. There's 82 games in the season. He played in 29 of the games. He averaged 2.9 points per game, 2.9 points per game, 1.4 assists.
Okay.
So it's not great stats, And he gets waived. He gets kicked off the team.
Mm-hmm.
Then this year he gets signed by the Houston Rockets. He never plays. And again they waive him. So then the Knicks pick him up. Right?
Yep.
He's living on a couch. He's living on his friend's couch. He's barely on the team. He's sitting on the bench. Most likely he's going to be waived by the Knicks. There's really not much expectation from him. Right?
Yep.
So these players are out. This whole thing's going on. They're 7 games under 500.
Yeah.
The Knicks are playing the New Jersey Nets, right?
Jersey.
The team's having a terrible first half. So in the second half, they put Jeremy Lin, and they're like, all right, just put him in.
Dun, 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 dun.
This game's pretty much over. The season's pretty much dead. Let's put this guy in. Okay, now in an NBA game, he had never taken more than 9 shots in a game.
Yeah.
This game, he comes out, puts up 19 shots, making most of them.
Nice. Good start.
Well, let's think about this. He's been waived by several teams. He's never played significant minutes in a game, but he's such a ballsy individual that he goes, I'm in the game, I'm going to start shooting this ball. You think you would be like kind of a sheepish, being put in the spotlight like this?
No, sir.
Just goes for it. The Knicks win this game.
Bam.
He plays his heart out, they win.
Whammy.
So he comes out of nowhere, carries the team now to 7 straight wins. And I read his stats from last year, right? 2.9 points per game, 1.4 assists. He's averaging, during a 5-game stretch, he was averaging 27.2 points per game, 8.8 assists.
Good numbers.
Including a win over the Lakers. First time the Knicks beat the Lakers in years. Includes a late-game comeback against the Timberwolves on the road. Including hitting a game-winning 3-pointer against the Raptors in Toronto.
Yeah, that's kind of significant right there.
Which was insane. This is how it worked, right? It was a tie game with let's say 10 seconds left, right?
Sure.
He has the ball.
Good start.
He waits till there's no time left on the clock, shoots a 3, and puts it in. You don't even need 3. You don't even need 3 points to win. You need 1 or 2. Says I'm going to shoot a 3. Just in case there's any time left, the other team would have to make a 3 to win.
Gutsy.
Or to tie.
Very gutsy.
So, it was insane. So I've been watching the NBA for like 20 years. It's as good of a stretch as I've seen a player have. And I've never seen a guy come out of nowhere like this. It's pretty insane.
Well, I heard he's also a really good team player. Like, he's not
That's
just in it for himself. He's helping everybody.
He's a breath of fresh air. You see his interviews. the way he speaks about things.
He is a hobbit.
Humble. He just wants to play, loves the game. He points out flaws. Why too many turnovers this game.
That's...
it's amazing, and he saved the season. The Knicks are now, I think, 15-15 right now.
Okay.
And if they win the next game, they'll be over 500 for the first time, I think, since the first game of the year.
Wow.
So it's an amazing story. It's about never quitting, never stopping, grinding, do what you have to do to get where you want to be, and staying ballsy. That's what it's all about. And I think that's something we can all draw inspiration from to help us in whatever it is that we do in our lives. So my hat this week comes off to Mr. Jeremy Lin of the New York Knicks. I will certainly be looking to go to a game soon, but now it's impossible to get tickets.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
So it's so strange. I mean, if you just keep at something, you never know. This guy could have given up 100 times.
No, but he didn't. He knew what he wanted, and he wasn't going to give up till he got it.
And now he's probably going to get a nice big contract at the end of the year. So
darn right.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, seriously, very, very. It's a wonderful story.
Hopefully it continues.
Yes. Knock on wood.
I think it will. He did. He's kept it up for 7-8 games.
Yeah.
Consistent. So I think it's for real. And God bless him.
The season will tell. And let's watch this ride.
Yes. So now let's do a quick recap of the last 10 episodes of the show. Can you believe that we're at 20 and a half episodes?
Could be 20 and a third, depending on how talkative we are today. But
I'm not sure where we're at right now, so we'll say over 20. I'm not sure where we're at right now as far as status.
It's hard to believe, man. We've been doing this since, this is episode 21 right now. That means we've been doing this for more than 5 weeks. We took
1 week off.
Yeah, so that means it's been 22 weeks.
22 weeks.
It's almost half a year.
Half a year.
We started this in September? October?
No, September.
Yeah, September, right around Comic-Con.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
Pretty crazy.
I know, it's been so much fun. We've met some crazy people. We've gotten a lot of interesting
We're going to get into that. We're going to go episode by episode here.
Oh, man.
Get ready.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, I want to thank everyone that's listened to these things. If you didn't check them out, then there'd probably be no point in doing them. So you guys all make this work. And the reason we're getting these great guests like John Patrick Gillard, like Ellen McLean, is because I can go to them different people, and be like, look, I have, X amount of views on my shows. And we get a lot of views. We get a lot of people are checking it out. Obviously, that's pretty attractive to people to want to come on and talk about what they got going on. So
yeah,
it's really the Ramborgia that makes this happen. Mm-hmm. It's just these guests.
You're giving us exposure.
Exactly. I also want to thank my co-host OJ. 20 street shows with the busy schedule you have, which is actually I'm not saying that sarcastically. It's pretty ridiculous.
Some of it's due to my own nonsense, but yeah, I am.
I yell at you a lot about some stuff you do, but you're certainly busy. You've done 20 straight shows.
Phew.
And this obviously wouldn't work without OJ. So thank you as well, sir.
Thank you, dude. It's been an honor being able to being able to build this with you here.
I don't thank you as much as I thank Jeremy Lin.
Well, Jeremy Lin is a very impressive fellow, so I'll let that one slide.
Right. So let's take a look now at the last couple shows. Episode 11. I don't know when this was, a while ago. Episode 11, we recapped the first 10 episodes, so there's no point in recapping the recap show. I don't think we have to talk about that.
Oh, gosh. Just when we need some more recursion.
Episode 12, we officially announced that we'll be going to MagFest. And I reviewed over 20 games I played during the holiday season. And we went through games that will be coming out over the next couple months, which we're probably going to have to do again.
Oh, yeah.
Probably next month or so.
Well, at least we got Twisted Metal out of the way, huh?
Twisted Metal's out of the way. Episode 13 was right after we announced Project 7 would be coming back. We had Howard on the show.
Yeah.
That was the first time you ever met Howard, so now that you know Howard, you met him, you've hung out, what do you think of Howard?
He's a pretty cool guy.
I meant physically. What do you think of him physically? attractive? What do you think about him?
Well, as a heterosexual male, I'd say he's an attractive fellow. The
This is
ladies
how
must
long
be
ago this
all
was-
over him.
And this is how long ago this episode was. We actually, this is where we asked the viewers to name themselves. So we all know how that turned out. Episode
Yeah.
14 was the Christmas episode.
December 22nd.
We started our musical intros, which have now become world known and famous. People love them. We've done it for a while now. This one started with a piece from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, that blew people's ears out.
A lot of people said scared the crap out of them because I'm too loud. So I also learned how to edit after this episode. And we also decided that the listeners will now be known as Ramborgia.
But that you can still call them whatever you want. Ramborolics.
Hold on, I believe Plywood Cutout Cow. Plywood Cutout Cow is the dude that came up with the name. But it also began the great Ramboholic Ramborgia War,
Ugh.
which was actually highlighted in today's intro, which you haven't seen yet.
No, I have not seen it yet. I'm somewhat
You have
sad.
to wait. You have to wait and see with everyone else. Episode 15, we took 2 weeks off. We came back with episode 15. And we were joined by Howard and DSP,
We had the Holy Trinity here.
planning out our MagFest trip, which we left for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Then episode 16 was our 2 hours, recapping the entire MagFest trip, talking about things like what we did in the bathroom and what we ate.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, where I yelled at you about your contact lenses.
MagFest was a big deal, man. So some trips you go on, like you plan them out, and you're like, this is going to be an incredible trip. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But then it's only like an okay trip, right? You've been on those, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
MagFest was one of those rare trips where before it ended, you're like, this is going to be incredible. And then it actually is incredible.
Yeah.
You think about it, we debuted Project 7. I got some really great footage from my channel, just from standing in front of the table that we had.
Yeah.
And then we met John Patrick Larry and Elle McLean, which was huge for the show.
The White Mage.
And we met the White Mage, which all became historic moments on the show. So those are a big deal, man.
Creeper!
All right. And then episode 17, we started a great run of guests. We had a crazy run of guests. We had 4 in a row. That's also why I wanted to kind of pull back this week.
Yeah.
Sometimes you guys kind of take a step backwards in order to take 2 steps forward. So I kind of wanted to get back to the basics today, you know.
That's cute.
But we had 4 weeks in a row of guests. The first one, Andre from the Respect the Pact.
A technological wizard.
We had him on because the weekend before that, Project 7 debuted on YouTube. And he's a great guy. I've actually learned quite a bit from watching those guys work and film stuff. And he gave us details on his background in film and making movies. And you should definitely listen to that interview if you have not.
Yeah, and check out his videos. They're pretty funny.
Yes, youtube.com/respectthepact. 18, that was the international edition of the show.
Belgium. I talked about Belgium for so long.
Yes, we started talking about the store, which you promised would be up in a week. It actually took another month from then.
Well, it didn't... Okay.
And we were joined by Delane M.,
Yeah.
who was our first international guest. Came from Birmingham, England.
Cool fellow.
Talked about YouTube and games and all that good stuff. Checked out that interview. It's episode 18. And then episodes 19 and 20, they're milestone episodes. We were joined by the voice of the Sniper, Team Fortress 2, as well as Halo, many other games, John Patrick Lowry, and then our 20th episode, Spectacular. Not Spectacular, Spectacular. We're joined by Elle McLean, the award-winning voice of GLaDOS. One thing I want to say about that, before we talk about it too much, is that I noticed a lot of the comments from people lately are like, they were like, how did you get them on the show? I can't believe that they came on your show. Right? And also in Schnoz-man and HolePunch, people were like, this is surprisingly good. I'm surprised this is good. So like when you see that I put out a video, the people just go, oh, JohnRamboPresents has a new video up. It's probably going to suck. But you know what? I'm going to check it out. And then it's like, oh, wait, this is actually okay. Is that what happens? Like,
Dude,
do people just expect my stuff to suck? That's my question.
you've got the gift of being better than everyone's expectations. I mean, it's got its pitfalls, but at the very least, everyone comes away
I'm this far into this. You should know I got some decent stuff going on. Come on.
You don't mess around. I know, dude. I know you don't mess around. Everything you do is well planned out and incredible.
Well, in pure honesty, I don't think people really mean it like that. I think they mean it more in like a
good way.
It's like they mean it in a good way. It's like oh well, I can't believe you got the mod. It's great.
Yeah, or like this looks like it's the stupidest thing ever, and yet I've watched it 9 times.
Yeah, it's like it's like how the hell did you get them on the show? You're like nothing.
I've stepped in things that could get better guests than you.
I can't believe it. But I don't think it's like that. It's weird. It's funny, man.
No, everyone's just having a good time. That's what we're here for.
So yeah, we might as well answer the question. A lot of people asked how we got them on. It's because we approached them at MagFest, and we were very polite and charming.
Of course. Well, obviously, since I'm the one who went to go talk with John.
Right. We gave them a business card, and they checked out our stuff.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do it.
Yeah, they were very nice.
And like I said, the show gets 10 to 13,000 views a week.
Wow.
Which is very attractive for guests. I think the last 1 or 2 didn't get that many because of YouTube issues.
Yeah.
But if you check all the episodes, they're all between 10 and 13,000. So that's attractive. People come on. So in essence, everyone that watches the show, they're the reason that they came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And like having them on really has opened a lot of doors for us now because now we can go to other potential guests, and I will actually show them that interview and say, look, we're pseudo professionals, and we do a good interview.
Yeah.
And maybe they'd like to come on too. So that was a big deal.
We can't thank them. We can't thank you enough.
Right. So that's that. That's 20 episodes, and here's to 20 more. And are you coming along for the ride, OJ?
You better believe it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
We'll continue to be paid nothing for your efforts.
Womp womp.
By the way, you're signed to a 50-episode contract. You don't even know.
Well, hey, 50 is divisible by 5, so I can do the...
You didn't know what you were signing.
Was this that time that I woke up, like, really dazed, and I didn't really know what was going on?
Yeah, I think so.
I heard someone say that they'd bought some Forget-Me-Now or something. I don't know.
It's not like the time you woke up with no pants on. It's different than that time.
Yeah, which is weird, because when I went to bed, I had pants on my arms.
Yes. All right, let us go to the comments. OJ, I know you're excited about the comments this week.
Okay, well, now, just to show how far I've come, let's see if I can do this. This comment's from Tlatoani Itzcoatl.
I think you did it.
Yeah! It only took 21 episodes. But I got it! Man, 20 episodes seems as if it were just yesterday that I clicked on that Fateful the Show, episode 1 video. Love what you're doing, John Squared.
Well, I'm very happy that... Say his name again.
Tlatoani Itzcoatl.
He's been a part of the show from the start, so I'm very glad he's part of this episode 21, A New Beginning.
Yeah,
show, so
I'm glad he's
fitting,
to ride with us.
Very poetic.
Man, except I can't picture a rhyme for Tlatoani Itzcoatl, though. Nah, yeah. I can't rhyme anything. Still,
You explain what the name meant. Did you read what he wrote?
Yeah, it's a Central American
king of the civilization.
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Quetzalcoatl another one?
I don't know.
Yeah, they actually reference some of the Quetzals in Final Fantasy a little bit.
That's one of the cool things about doing the shows is a lot of these names. Like I remember these people, and I remember their names and the questions they've asked, and we've kind of like a little bit of a relationship going on with a lot of the listeners. So that's really probably one of the better things that have come of this, I would say.
Yeah, cool. I mean, everyone's from...
These guys are all like, they're like my family members. I feel like these guys can just come over anytime. Like if this dude showed up at my house right now, he's like, that's me. I'd be like, come on in. Take a seat. I'm gonna make you a sandwich.
You don't make me a sandwich. You've got you've got friends, all over the country, and you learn a little bit about, where they live and what their life's been like, piece by piece.
Right.
It's, it gives you a wider perspective on the world and everything, and, your replacement.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this comment is from, oh man, I can't tell if that's an L or a capital I. D8L0A4W. So D8LOAU if it's in Leets, which I doubt. But
I don't know.
Great. I learned to pronounce Tlatoani Itzcoatl, and I fail on the next name.
Yes.
Lovely.
A whole new challenge begins for OJ.
Test your might. All right. So this comment is, Should the Ramborgia Nation ever find need, this assassin will raise his blades to assist. Remember, nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
Of course, that's the creed right there.
Yeah.
I think the challenge, I want everyone to do. Since we're not very creative, we usually make the Ramborgia create everything. I want a Ramborgia creed. That is the challenge for the audience. Please post it in the comment section. So, for example, the assassins, their creed is, remember, nothing is true. Or was it nothing is true, everything is permitted, right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yes. So we want the Ramborgia creed. It should be something similar to that. It doesn't have to be. But some sort of tagline. So then we could say Ramborgia, and then we could say the creed for the Ramborgia. So that is the challenge. Please post it up. See what you guys come up with. You always come up with good stuff. So.
All right. So this is from Raven Primo. Caught up with all the episodes of the show. Finally, a show I can listen to while I game and sleep. Also, you guys help motivate me to stick to my deadline for my senior project. Stay fresh and stern, my ballsy publi pals. P.S. I met OJ at New York Comic Con. At first I didn't pay attention, but I wish I would have gotten to know him better. Really sad face. Emoticon.
Wow. So you guys met, he didn't what happened? Maybe you didn't talk to him? Or
I don't know.
Is this your fault?
I don't know. Maybe he was just looking for Rambo. It's possible.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, well, dude, you're like, your personality's a force of nature. He should have been able to spot you, but it was so crowded. I don't blame him.
You're gonna have to spend time with this dude at the next Comic-Con, maybe.
All right. Well, he'll have to keep an eye out for me, and I'll keep an eye out for him.
But I'm glad that he's catching up with all the episodes. Good stuff.
And a senior project, for that matter.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because I never did my homework. Yet, this dude's saying that I'm helping him stick to his deadlines for his project.
Well, it's good, man.
So, that's good stuff.
Yeah, dude, you may say that you didn't do that stuff, but dude, you worked so hard on all this stuff, getting it done in time for the show, writing stuff out, man. You get things done, regardless.
Get things done.
Yeah.
Is this a college project or a high school project?
I'm not sure. I don't know how. Our high school had a senior project.
Yeah, we had a senior project. We had a senior project in my English class. Okay, in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like this big deal. The teacher was talking about it like all year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a terrible student. I'll tell you right now. I did the math. I figured out that if I took a 0 on this project, I would still pass the class for the year. So it was this crazy project where you had to basically write about yourself throughout the year. Like every week you had to do this like a essay in it.
Yeah.
And the teacher wouldn't look at it. It was basically you had to do it on your own, and then at the end of the year you present it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember a project like it for junior year. Senior
This
year.
was for senior year.
All right, senior year we had a big shadowing internship project.
Oh yeah. That was something else. But this was for English class.
Gotcha.
So it was this crazy thing where you had to write stuff every week throughout the entire school year.
Oh yeah.
Blah blah blah. The teacher was talking
about
the
journal thing, right?
The journal thing. And
yeah.
the teacher would talk about it and read oh, this is my favorite student's journal from 3 years ago, and she would give examples of great journals, and I was like, this is stupid. So I figured out that I didn't have to do it. And the way that it worked is you had to present it to the class. So remember the day that it was due. She'd be like, all right, so-and-so. And they would go up and do their presentation on their journal.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, John, do your journal. So I was like, I didn't do it. I'll take a 0. I remember the faces, the looks on the faces of the people in the class. It's something I'll never forget the rest of my life. Because they were so a mixture of shock, and some of them were just appalled. And the teacher was just completely blown away. And she didn't even say anything back. She just had to she paused for a second and almost fell backwards and then just had to go on to the next person. It was insane. I'll never forget that.
Oh man, yeah.
But I don't recommend anyone do things like that. I was a terrible student. And it definitely made life harder after that because I had poor grades, and then I had to go get a crappy job after that. So it wasn't the right thing to do, but that's what happened. And we learned from our experiences.
Yeah, I will tell you though that I wrote for one of my journal. We had a similar journal type thing. We wrote about random topics throughout the year. I forgot they asked us to write one like about stuff you do for fun. I wrote about playing CVS2, at the arcade, Capcom vs. SNK2 at the arcades and stuff.
Yeah.
And doing tournaments and whatnot. That was, it was like, okay, there. Got something out of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think I was just so, turned off that the teacher was so into this project thing.
Like, it was this big, deathly thing. You must do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually what it was. You're right. Because it was also like threats about it. This is this percentage of your grade, and you better be doing it. And other people have done great ones, and it was like that kind of threatening thing to it. And I was just like, I'm not doing this.
F you guys, I'm out.
Right. Well, like I said, it wasn't the right thing to do. So.
Aw. Okay, so on that lovely note, this one's from Tiki Shuda. Man, I don't know. 1 hour and 48 minutes of OJ's ramblings is asking quite a bit. Now, for the record, I only spoke for about 45 minutes straight. There were some other pieces with John talking.
Well, here's the thing. As much as I'm sure OJ would love to ramble on for an hour and 48 minutes, I'm sure you'd love to do that. I don't think that accurately describes what we do here. We have a good time. We talk about a variety of topics. We have great guests on from the entertainment world. And we interact with the lovely Ramborgia.
Yeah.
We send in comments and questions and art and all kinds of things. And he's saying, we're asking a lot. We're asking quite a bit. We don't ask anything of anybody. All right? That's why at the end of the shows, I call it free and optional entertainment at the end of every show.
Maybe you should point it out at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah.
So they realize they don't have to listen.
A disclaimer. Yeah, I think people realize sometimes they don't have to watch stuff.
Yeah, we're not forcing anybody. I mean, I will admit, I did kind of go on a little bit.
No, you didn't. Trust me, dude. I'm your hardest critic, and you know that.
Okay.
So if I'm cool with what you're doing, then don't worry about it. But.
Yeah, seriously, after the verbal browbeating, just kidding. Anyway, so yeah.
Here's a life lesson I want to give everybody right now. Okay, someone once told me this, and I think it's very true, and you give me your thoughts on it. In every situation, any situation involving people, there's usually at least one person who acts like a dick in that situation. Right?
Yeah.
And you yourself, you don't ever want to be the dick. No one likes the dick. Right? Nobody wants the dick. So before you do anything, any type of action in life, you ask yourself, am I being the dick? What do you think about that?
Well, aside, if you leave intercourse out of it, then yeah, I think that's pretty good philosophy.
When you think about that, somebody told me that and it really hit home. Because you think about wherever you go, so you're going to a sporting event or a movie, or there's always one person that's a dick.
Yeah.
In the YouTube comments, there's one person that's a dick, and nobody likes that guy. A party you go to, there's a dick there. Your job, there's one dude at your job that's a dick.
Yeah.
So you don't ever want to be that dude. So
no.
That's my message to this guy that left the message.
Well, I wouldn't come down on him too hard, man.
I'm not even saying this isn't even really a reference to him. It's just in general.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. They just whatever.
Okay, let's continue.
All right, this one from Funny House Films. So I guess he really likes Hugh Laurie, huh? I have not given the show a chance until now. Probably the best first one to watch. I will be tuning in every week. Well, Funny House Films, if you're listening now, thank you very much. This is my personal message to you saying thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
Yes, thank you for joining. We're glad to have you. It's another strange thing about my channel. This is a good time to talk about this, too. When people actually watch my videos, they always really like them. Right? But sometimes it's a struggle just to get people to check it out in the first place. Yeah. I get messages like this all the time where it's like, I finally checked out your stuff and it's really good. But it's like, why were you not checking it out?
Did we kick your dog?
I can understand. It would almost be better if people were like your stuff is terrible. I don't like what I'm watching. But that's not the case. It's like people watch it they think it's great, and then there's like this really frustrating aspect to it where it's like you're trying to get other people to check it out, and they just won't do it. So it's kind of an odd thing.
It's like you've got this sealed box, and inside the box is the most delicious candy imaginable, but people just won't open the box. Open the box.
And trust me, like I'm fine with the amount of people we get, and very appreciative of that. So it's not like it's not like I really stress out about it or look at like, oh my god, where are my subscribers at? Like I don't care. It has nothing to do with that. But when you get messages of people where it's like yeah, I finally I heard you had a channel, last year, but I finally checked out this year, and it's pretty good.
Well, maybe they were busy. I don't know.
Open yourself, check it out. People get set in their things, and it's like people are set in like these are the TV shows I watch. I go to YouTube after work, or whatever. These are the channels I look at. So I think it's kind of hard to get. You kind of like have to. You're breaking into someone's and stealing someone's free time,
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, dude,
with all these other things.
Well, I'm the same way with webcomics. Like, I have a particular, I call it the litany that I go through when I get home. I check this one, and then I type all the other ones into the browser window, and then basically I have to struggle to, if in my mind, if I can't remember the URL for a comic, then I just stop reading it, And it's hard to get another one in there because then I have to remember what it is. Just
I understand. I mean, I understand totally. There's so much stuff on the internet. It's like there's so much white noise out there too. It's like, oh, another guy's got a thing going on. So yeah, I mean, you're definitely competing with millions of other options. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm very appreciative if anyone gives me like a minute of their time is great. So
yeah, and why we're so happy when you share us with your friends.
Yes, exactly.
You can just load it up onto your iPod now and then take everybody on an 8-hour trip to Rochester, New York.
Don't go there.
You won't make it back. You do have good feet, though.
Okay.
All right. This one's
I got a lot of rants this episode. What's going on here?
Really?
Seems like it, yeah. A lot of anger coming out of me today.
Well, no, here's a good one. This one's from 1996, Syndra. Guys, I'm new to the lands of Ramborgia. What is this digital gonorrhea I keep hearing about?
All right, so since this is episode 21, it's kind of like a new beginning. We'll explain this for the newcomers. Thanks for joining, by the way.
Welcome.
When you listen to the show, you become infected with what can best be described as a digital disease, much like a digital STD. So you can call it whatever you want. You can call it digital herpes, if you like. You can call it digital chlamydia, if you like. We here at the show, we personally call it digital gonorrhea.
Because it's the hardest to spell.
That's pretty hard. I've misspelled it several times actually. I know how to spell it now, like perfectly. Since you're infected, what we ask you to do now that you're a carrier of the disease is take that MP3 that you downloaded, or take the link of the YouTube video, spread it to others. So then they can become infected, and they will in turn spread the disease as well, until we are all a digital gonorrhea infected planet.
It's like
this, my friend, is what it's all about.
It's like a pyramid scheme, but no one gets hurt and everyone gets happy.
Everyone enjoys themselves.
Everyone loves the digital gonorrhea. Gosh, I can say it without twitching now. We've come a long way.
I love that. I love that term. I came up with that on the fly. It was great.
Oh yeah.
I was actually at your house when we recorded the dual episode.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
It just came out. It was just meant to be. Some things are just meant to be, right?
I guess you could say it really caught on.
Yes. It has. So is there anything else you want to talk about before we get into the main
topic?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think things are going pretty well. I'm pretty happy. It's been a good 10 episodes since the last summary we've done.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the future.
I think the time has come.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I did the puppy dog voice again. Sorry.
The time has come, OJ.
Oh,
let us speak now about Schnoz-man and HolePunch. Before we get into the details...
The Justice Lease.
The Justice, yeah.
If you leave that part out, I'll be very sad.
It was a part of the video.
I know.
So before we get started, I want to first make a special announcement. I didn't really discuss this with you, but I definitely wanted to make one episode, okay? I wasn't completely honest with you. But I wasn't sure on how it would turn out. And rightfully so, right?
I guess I had high hopes.
Okay, so I wasn't completely sure if we could pull it off. Most of this I've never done before. You've never done before. I've written things before, but that's completely like one world. And then actually executing it, with camera work and editing and all that, that's a totally different world. I've never done that stuff. So I wanted to see how it turned out, if I personally liked it, and most importantly, if the audience thought it was good.
Yeah.
Which is fairly, that's fairly important if people are going to watch it or not, because there's no point in killing ourselves doing this if no one's going to check it out, right?
Ah.
So it looks like people are really, really enjoying it. And my announcement today is that I have greenlit the series. The series will continue. We've actually written several episodes.
Yep.
Right? They're all ready to roll, and there will be more Schnoz-man and HolePunch coming your way. What I'm going to do is actually edit the title of the video, adding number 1 to the title, like comic book style. I'm just putting number 1. That's the first issue.
Yeah.
And it will continue because I think it well worked out.
Well, thanks.
We're gonna get
nothing like a little good old subterfuge here. You could have told me in advance.
I'm trying to. This is how I motivate you.
Yeah, you think I wouldn't have been motivated anyway, dude? I was going to give it my all no
All right,
matter what.
we'll talk about. We'll get to the details of that. I want
right.
to do is let's start from the beginning here.
Okay.
All right. So
when you started lying to me, let's go.
It was all a lie. So we were talking for months about original content on the show and how we wanted to do original content, and that's what I wanted the focus of my channel to be going forward. Because I felt like if I'm going to put work into making videos, then I want to own every piece of it. I want to own every piece of the video, and also satisfy my own creative hunger, and feel really good about what I'm putting out. Feel like I feel proud about what I put out. Like I made this.
Yeah.
So we filmed Project 7 in November, and I had written a large portion of that. So I knew I could probably write something. I was like, I could write something else. And then I saw what Respect the Pact was doing, the way they were filming it, and I really just soaked it in, and I really just always watching what they were doing. Okay, like a sponge. And then I started watching. Yeah. Then I started watching TV shows, but not like how you normally would watch a show. I paid attention to camera angles and the way they shot it and all things like that, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I did, I watched a show I really like. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's a good show.
So I have multiple seasons of it. So I just sat there one day and just watched it, but not really paying attention to the storylines and stuff, or the way you normally watch a show. I was just checking out what they were doing with the cuts and stuff. So, and I also wanted to put something together where I could actually write all the music for it. I could create all the original music for the show, because I thought that would be fun.
And
it's a simple reason, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay, what am I going to write about? What's this going to be about? Well, we always loved comic books and superheroes.
And how?
And who?
And how?
Oh, okay. You said and how, like Hal Jordan or something. Like what?
Well, he is my favorite hero.
All right, so it's like okay, let's do something with superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we don't know how to do all these great effects for superheroes, to make epic battles and stuff like that. The way that superheroes would be doing things. What we do have is apartments, and we have parking lots and streets, and we have the suburban, jungle out there outside of the apartments. So let's make a superhero show where instead of blowing stuff up and doing these crazy stunts and all this stuff, these are going to be, horrible heroes that mostly just talk to each other like normal people do, and they have problems like normal people have problems.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the basis of it. And I saw some people that actually watched the episode, and they were like, "Oh, this is obviously heavily influenced from Kick-Ass and Super," which are good. I saw those movies; those are good movies.
I haven't seen Super yet.
Yeah, it's really good. Actually, I don't think a lot of people. It's actually better than Kick-Ass.
I heard. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Oh, that's the one with the guy, the
Rainn Wilson.
Yes,
it's awesome. So a lot of people say, "Oh, this is like Kick-Ass or Super," and I don't fault people for saying that because they don't know as much about the series as I do, because obviously I made this. We made this,
Thank you.
So if some people brought that up, but it's nothing like that at all.
No.
It's really unlike those, because those movies were about, what if people in the real world tried to be superheroes in the real world, right?
Yeah.
That's what those are about, like what would happen. So our thing is about, like, superheroes very much exist in the universe. The Justice League and the Avengers all exist in our universe, as we've talked about, as were mentioned in the episode.
Yeah.
So it's commonplace for superheroes to be around. There's heroes everywhere. But this story focuses on the worst of them all. Right? In any profession, there's people at the top of the profession, like, who have it all, they're very successful, and there's people at the lower levels who aren't very good at what they're trying to do, and they struggle at it.
Yeah,
right. That goes for anything.
Yeah, they're not getting anywhere despite how hard they're trying.
Right. So why not in superhero world? In the job being a superhero, there would be guys that are really good, like the Justice League, like the Avengers, and there's got to be guys that suck at it. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So that's what we're at right now. So I threw you the idea of superhero roommates, right? That was pretty much what I told you.
Yeah.
You seemed like you were down with it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much down for a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Most.
Maybe one day we're gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that. It's gonna shock me. Well, we'll see.
Well, I'll keep that in reserve then.
But one of your conditions, actually, you were like, all right, I'll do it. But we have to have at least a few episodes written before we start. That was like your conditions.
I
right?
figured it would be a good idea to know where we were going.
Like, we have to have several episodes written out, or it's not worth it. So I was like, all right. I was like, oh yeah, it's like that. I'll watch this. And I think we came up with like 8 episodes one night on Skype.
Yeah, we just were talking over it. We got some story arcs going, started writing things down.
And I was like, oh yeah, okay, watch this. Boom. I don't really remember how we came up with the names of Schnoz-man. Schnoz-man was pretty obvious, I think.
You came up with Schnoz-man.
How did we come up with the HolePunch? I think you did.
Yeah, HolePunch was me. I was thinking of, part of it came from the origin I wanted for his character, like who he got the idea from for the name. And then I just realized that it sounded really funny to me. Like, I
think you were just going through names. You wanted something that sounded like mechanical or something like that. And then you threw that out. I was like, yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had already started thinking about his origin story. And it came from the original origin story I thought up for him.
Okay.
Which I can't exactly share right now.
No, we can't give spoilers. So Schnoz-man is pretty obvious, and I wanted like a luchador look because I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I always wanted to wear like a Mexican wrestling mask, so I was like, that's cool. And I think the idea behind the HolePunch was basically, what if you took Batman, Batman who builds all this great stuff because he's rich.
Yeah.
His parents died, and he got all this money, and that's like his biggest asset is that he can build things that are technologically helpful in his strongest evil. So what if Batman did not inherit money? What if he was broke and he couldn't build all this stuff?
Yeah.
That's what HolePunch is. And you're going to see that idea come into play more in the future episodes.
Yeah.
And you came up with the suit on your you built the suit off like some website, right?
Well, I was looking around for ideas, and I'm not terribly good at drawing, so I figured, okay, let's take a look at, a superhero guy doing a pose. Like, okay, I found a site, gave the dude a ponytail, and I thought, okay, what would look cool? Well, cape. So I gave him a cape, and I thought, well, he needs something more. So I thought, what would be pretty cool? I don't want to just make him wear all black, so I figured that he'd look cool if he had like a gray sash. I mean, it'd be kind of stupid looking, but whatever. It adds a little bit more color, even though it's still gray. And then the logo, I was trying to think of ways to use the letter H and the letter P. I was thinking about it, and one day I just kind of doodled out, this logo idea, and took it home. And I don't know if you guys know, but I like to work with polymer clay, so I built a physical logo out of clay. And since I knew the character's sash was going to cover half his chest, it wasn't going to be a center emblem, so I moved it over to the side, and I just made and painted out this emblem for it.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what was the? If people want to check out the web, what was that website that you used? People might want to check that out.
Oh gosh,
you can actually build your own. You don't know what it was?
I can hunt it down. I don't remember what it was. I just googled it, like superhero building something.
All right, yeah, they probably find it. But it's actually like you sent me a picture, like this is what I'm look like. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I figured out what I wanted him to look like first, and then I went to the site to see what it would look like on an actual person.
Okay.
So like I got the idea, and then I just used the site to see what it would look like before I went out and bought everything.
It's a good idea.
Save some.
So we ordered a lot of the costumes came from Amazon.
Yeah.
The capes and the masks,
my pants
belts and
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were actually wearing a utility belt. I don't know if people can see that. We're gonna have to
Probably not. I might have to change its color.
Yeah, we have to mess around with some of the costumes, but I think they looked okay. They looked just bad enough that it was good.
Yeah.
But the trick with it was like they can't look too good because these heroes suck. they can't look like they're incredibly terrible. So I think it was a nice help. I think it was perfect the way they came out.
I think it was good.
Right. I got the blue nose paint from
Party City.
Party store. Party City. Right?
Yeah, they had a bunch of funny things there.
And the Schnoz logo is kind of a cool story. Our friend Hazard, who also made the show logo, Hazard's his name.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a message saying, I need a logo for a shirt. I want it to be a giant purple nose and say Schnoz under it. And he just goes and does it. He didn't know what it was for. He didn't say like that. This is bizarre. You're a weirdo. Stop sending me messages. Dude just does it. Knocks it out of the park. Does a great job with it. He's a great Ramborgia soldier. So we thank you. He actually put that together, and then we got it put onto a shirt.
Yeah,
that is the shirt. And and then of course the saving grace. OJ goes out. He buys a high-powered camera, an amazing camera, which made this whole thing possible.
Yeah, that thing was nuts. So
there were some issues with it, though. If you noticed during the episode, the camera keeps moving around.
Really, the camera's moving around. Is that because it's on top of a chair?
No. You didn't notice. If you watch the episode, you could hear the camera.
Yeah,
and you see the lens moving.
Oh, that's weird.
You didn't notice that?
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't really notice. No one commented on it, but the camera's like autofocusing, like while we're filming, and we're gonna have to figure that out because if you watch it, like you'll hear it, you'll see it moving, the lens.
That's weird. The microphone should be only getting audio from the front.
Well, it's nothing to do with the microphone. It's the
well, the microphone shouldn't pick up the sound of the camera, right?
Well, it's got to because it's on top of it. So,
I guess.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to figure out. We probably had some sort of setting on like auto something we have to turn off.
Yeah, I thought we had turned it off, but there could be more. I got the manual right here under my fingers, so we can take a look.
Yeah, if you watch it again, you'll see like most of the scenes, the camera's moving around and making noises.
Don't point out the problems until we fixed them. Everyone's gonna watch for that.
This is what we do here. We talk about stuff. So
that's true.
All right, so we filmed the episode last Saturday. Went pretty smoothly, I would say. What would you say?
Yeah, aside from being terrified that like the police were going to come after us, worked out.
The police did come. We'll talk about that. We took our time. What we did is we basically shot a scene, and then immediately went to the PC and then watched it and then made sure it came out okay, which I think was a great strategy.
Yeah, because we only had limited time to get everything filmed.
Yeah, but it takes more time that way. But since we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah, we didn't want
allowed us to like, oh, this is how it looks. Okay, let's try it like that. Let's try it like this.
Because we realized a couple shots needed to be fixed.
And I don't know honestly, I never did anything like this. I never did like, here's the shot, then it cuts to this, and then here's the close up, and then here's that. Like I never did any of that stuff. So
yeah, but it just seemed to come naturally to you. You've seen enough movies.
We were just rolling, man. We were just rolling. We were having a fun time.
Oh yeah.
And I think I was real confident with what we wrote. I knew it was good. So
yeah, I would like to point out though that I wore my costume the entire day. And John didn't need to change into his until like the last 3 hours.
Well, you're in most of the scenes.
Yeah.
Because it very much is HolePunch's story.
Oh, well, now no one's going to watch it.
HolePunch is the main character. We'll see how you got to keep checking it out, but you'll see as things progress. But it's pretty much his tale. He's a complex character too. You'll see. Got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah, just
planted a lot of seeds in that episode. They're going to play out later on.
Oh my gosh! Just keep an eye on like every little detail.
Well, yeah, we did this all ourselves, just the two of us, which can be kind of challenging when we both need to be on camera.
Yeah, to say the least. Like we had to sit in place and make sure that we would both be in the frame.
Right.
Had to look places.
The intro, it was just supposed to be some like moving footage.
Yeah.
It pretty much is, but then I kind of try to make it like a little bit of a political statement in a way. I don't know if you noticed this because I started putting all these. I'm like, wow, there's so many retail chains
Yeah.
in this town. So I just started chopping them up, and there's like 4 CVS's in your town. And
There's
like
another one we didn't even see.
Yeah, in like a 1 mile radius, there's like 4 CVS's. So we tried to put as many of those as I could. And it's funny because you're going evil, blah blah blah, and then you're showing all these different like these stores that are just taking over, So it was kind of like what I was going for. I don't think anyone really picked that out because it wasn't like too, wasn't that well done, but that was kind of like the idea there, and kind of interesting about that. There's an old saying, when the Romans took over a city, they would try to turn it and make it look like Rome.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what's happening to the U.S., where every street is kind of like becoming the same street. It's being taken over by these corporate entities, and like every street's going to have, these same chain restaurants and stores on them. So it's kind of a thing I read one time. That was kind of like what I was going for there.
IHOP.
Right. It was packed too.
It always is. Oh, well, it's also Pancake Month.
Right. So we might as well talk about OJ's freaking out. Because we film inside, what I do, I'm very much like just guerrilla style. I'll take the tripod, or we need a higher shot, stick it on top of a chair. I don't even center the camera, just stick it on there, and we turn it on. And that's how I do things, because I think it adds a certain spice and charm to it. Like it's gotta be as shitty as possible.
It's dangerous.
Still being good. It's not dangerous because I'm standing behind the camera.
Yeah.
And it's secure. I made sure it was secure, but I like to do it like that. I like to do it, and like a lot of those shots outdoors, I didn't center the camera, just stick it in the grass, turn it on, and just go. Because I feel like it's got to be like as raw as possible, and if you think about the scenes too much, then it doesn't come out right. So that's just how I like to do it. That's how I did it. You were freaking out a lot.
Well, because I thought my camera that I'd had for like 5 days was gonna fall.
The stuff outside, we pretty much basically walked around outside, and we go, we can do this or that. Here's a wall. Let's do something there.
Yeah, like I thought of some places that local, really close by that might be interesting, and we went over and just messed around with it.
Like, there's a fence, run around behind it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a gate here. Try and open it.
Yeah, it was good. I think it came out really well. There's a couple scenes in there that people didn't really pick up on. I think maybe because it's so fast. There's one where you chase a squirrel.
Yeah.
Which I really think is funny.
Oh, I love that.
Which I didn't see anyone really comment about. It's like half a second basically.
Well, it's hard too because like I had really big problems finding anything outside because I had to take off my glasses to film, and I've run out of contact lenses, so I could barely see anything.
It was cool because like there's obviously no sound in those clips. I put the song over it.
Yeah.
So I could actually like just direct you, like do that, run around that thing, duck.
You're not tired enough. No, you're too tired.
Right. So it was just pretty cool. I could do that, and
yeah,
you did a great job too. So.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
There's also the girl with the dog, which no one really picked up on. We were just filming. All of a sudden, this girl and a dog come over, starts talking to us. And I don't even know what was going on there. I don't know why she came over.
She was looking. I didn't know what was going on because I couldn't see a thing. All I could see was there's a giant dog.
Yeah, he was an awesome dog.
Oh, super cute, but
we're like in the middle.
Huge.
The camera was rolling, and she comes over, and the dog's standing there, and I'm like, oh hey, and she's like hi, and I'm like, oh he's a beautiful dog. She's like, thank you, and then she's like, I think he wants to be on camera. I was like, oh yeah, and then she just like started walking away.
I didn't really know what was going on.
And then she was like, she was like, don't worry, he's not a wolf.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I think it was at least part husky or something.
Oh, he was awesome. I love the dog.
Gosh, the beauty. Did you see his eyes? The only thing I could see was the dog's eyes.
Right, and honestly, like I didn't even know the cameras were rolling. So when we got back and watched the footage, I'm like, oh my god, we got that. That's going in.
Yeah, and you're like, it looks like you're staring at her butt. I'm like, I don't know. Actually. Everything's a blur.
She was going up the hill. I think you were actually. But.
I couldn't see a thing. I don't even know if I would have wanted to stare at her butt. I don't know what it looked like.
So then we have the scene where we're both on the couch.
Yeah.
And we improv that thing.
About 90 or 80%.
Yeah, there were certain points I wanted to hit.
Yeah, we wanted to get there were a few things that we wanted to get across.
Well, we tried it, I think, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it came out pretty good. I'm still not 100% happy with it. I think it's okay. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah.
For episode 1, man? Like, there's always room for improvement.
It doesn't make any sense, though, because he comes home, HolePunch comes home, Schnoz-man's watching porn, fully clothed. Doesn't make any sense. There needed to be a line in there where he's like, oh, I just put my pants back on, and now I'm watching the rest for the storyline, or something like that would have been good.
Yeah, they did it.
Right. So, also in that scene, which is fun, the audience is very polite to us because they didn't pick this out. You could see our lighting system on the right side of the screen.
Oh, yeah,
but no one said anything.
Yeah, or about my lack of curtains.
You did a pretty good acting job there, I have to say.
Oh, thank you.
So I thought it was good. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I never thought those acting classes would pay off.
It's like 3 minutes of straight, just talking. So.
It was pretty funny. I mean, it's weird though because you're saying this like we had to say the same jokes like 3 different times.
Yeah.
And they came out a little bit different each time. So it's like, well, joke 1 was better in this, but da-da-da-da-da, and you just got to pick the one that's better on the whole.
I think the first time we did it, we were both kind of like starting to crack up. But then by the time, like you just said, you keep telling the joke, then you're like, it's not funny anymore, so I can do it now. But that was the filming of it. Do you have anything else to say about the actual filming of the... What did you think it was going to turn out? Did you think it was going to be terrible, or did it come out better or worse than you thought it would be?
See, that's the thing. I mean... I thought, like, it was weird because I'd seen all the various parts. I when we were just watching the clips to make sure they came out right, like, I was just sitting there. If you hadn't hurried me to the next clip, I could have just stood there watching the clips for, like, the entire time. I just found it really funny because, like, watching myself, watching us on film, I knew what was going on in the background. I knew, what I was thinking about when that was being filmed, so it was a different experience. I think it came out pretty well. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I think it came out pretty well for 2 people, working hard on it. And you did all of the editing on Sunday, like all by yourself.
We're going to talk about that now.
And that was impressive.
Specifically about the episode, like when I was editing it, there was times where it was like, oh, this is pretty good. And there was times like, this is not good. Like I remember one point I was like, this is not. I had to like, there's some stuff like obviously there's some stuff I had to take out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is not good. So I had to cut parts and then. I was like, okay, it's starting to come together, So, I don't know. I think I really like it now.
I liked it before.
After I watched it a few times, like I'm proud of it. I like this.
I think we did a good job.
I think we really set up some of the jokes really well. We established the plunger,
the hole plunge.
The old plunge. He always has it, and at the end, like that's the kicker. Like he used it. And destroyed the bathroom with it because it's like this powerful thing. It's not meant for that,
Oh, and somebody asked, like, wait, what the heck? Here, there's a problem. If you have the runs, you don't clog the toilet.
You could.
Yeah, you could clog it with toilet paper.
That's true. Yeah.
Enough toilet paper will clog a toilet. Don't ask me how I know.
We'll have to get the runs and collage show. We'll film it. We'll look. I clogged it.
Ugh.
Then also the other joke that we said, I like how we set stuff up. Like in the beginning, we see you typing out. Heroes are welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if people.
And then Schnoz-man's like, "What do you mean? Heroes are welcome." Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, well, we spent. I mean, we spent a lot of a long time writing it, and we rewrote it a few times. We revised everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't even filmed the other episodes yet, and we've rewritten and moved it around and stuff already 2 or 3 times.
That's how we do it, man. Because we just keep making revisions, and then you finally it's like okay.
Yeah, we
I was writing stuff that day, like the whole thing about I'm watching porn, like that came up like 5 minutes before we did that.
Yeah, that wasn't the original thing. Like,
yeah,
you just came up with that. Bam, it was
stuff.
Perfect.
So let's talk about the editing process. I got some stuff to say about this.
Huh.
So I got home from your place on Saturday night. It was like 10:30 p.m. And then being the crazy person I am, I immediately started working on the editing. So I was like real excited, And there's a lot to go through. So I'm watching it all and like cutting it. And around 4:30 a.m., I had it completely done, except for the text during the montages and all that, right? Like the actual words.
Yeah.
But everything was done other than that.
Keep in mind, I asked you to get some sleep so you'd feel better, but go on.
The other night I was up all night before that. It's a whole other story.
Yeah, so I wanted John to feel better.
So it had no text whatsoever. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready to pass out right now. It's really late or early, depending on how you look at it. I need sleep. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to add the text and then render it and then upload it early on Sunday morning. This is amazing. OG's going to be blown away that I got done this quickly. So I get up the next day around 10 a.m., slept a couple hours, go to the computer, add the text. The thing's completely done, right?
Yeah.
I go to render it. It won't render. It won't work. It gives me this message saying there's not enough memory to complete the operation or something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
So what basically happened was I did all the editing on one Sony Vegas project. So it was basically like overloaded with files and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you that. I never knew there was a limit to this or anything like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So apparently there's a certain limit that it won't do. So I'm like, okay. All I have to do is go into it, cut it into sections, right? And I'll render it like in parts. And then I'll render all the parts together to make the actual like the full video, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. Here's what happened. Every time I then, after this happened, every time I opened the project, the whole program would crash. So in Sony Vegas, when you open Sony Vegas, it immediately goes back to the last project you were working on, which was, this episode. So every time I try to open Vegas, it would immediately crash. So I couldn't do anything. I had to completely delete the entire thing. Like, I had to delete it in order to get Vegas to work again. And then I had to start over. This is how we learn, man.
Yeah,
So I know what to do next time.
Next time, I guess we have to make backup copies before rendering.
No, next time I have to just do it by scenes.
Well, okay, but I mean, if you try to do the whole thing, if you try to do a big thing again, make a backup copy. So
I'm just not going to you can't do a big file anymore. It's just that's the problem.
Well, okay.
Like it didn't matter if I had backup files because it was so big that it wouldn't load anymore.
Well, what I meant to say was like if you have a backup file, then you can just like cut out, just render the first, delete everything after the first scene.
Yeah.
Render that, and then you've got the next few scenes, so you wouldn't have to re-enter into all the times and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
exactly. But that was just basically the problem. The file was so big that it got to a point where it wouldn't even open anymore.
Just freaked out. Ugh.
Yeah. So the only thing that kind of saved me was that I'm pretty old school in my ways, and I had it written on, with pen and paper, the file number and the times that I cut out of each, file, out of each part.
Genius.
So I was able to avoid like watching all the footage again, but I still had to like go through, cut it, put it, and then move all stuff around so it was all timed correctly.
Yeah.
And it still took a long time to put back together. And I finished it around like 4 p.m. I was done, like, again.
Yeah, you're sending me messages, like, during the day.
I was like, it's almost done. You're like, oh, wow. And I'm like, there's a problem.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know I'm sorry. I was trying to think of anything that might help. I mean, I'm out with some friends of mine. I'm just like, I don't know what I can do.
There came a point where I was like, this is over. This is not happening. For like a couple, it was like a couple seconds. I was like, no, I must continue.
I'm glad you pulled through it.
I had like a bowl of soup. Like I didn't even stop. Like I just brought it over, working with drink, and then I was totally like 4 p.m. I got it done. Started uploading it. I was totally shot, and of course I left in a spelling error at the end.
Yeah, and they called you on it.
Oh, of course, this is how the whole thing works. But I was like, oh my god, man! After all that, that was like the last thing. That was actually the last thing I worked on too. Was like I did it, I did it in sections, so that was like the last thing I worked on, and I screwed up at the very end. I was totally dead. I was up for I slept like a couple hours at night, 5 or 6 hours, whatever. But upload it, go to sleep, wake up a couple hours later, took a nap. It's got a ton of views, ton of comments, and people really enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah, that was Monday, right?
That was Sunday.
Yeah, and then Monday you woke up and it was uploaded, right?
I think so.
I was sick that day. Like I'd slept in from like I couldn't sleep that night. My stomach was killing me, so I had to call out of work. I wake up at like 1 p.m. and I get a text message from John at some point like, "Yo, dude, I think it blew up." I'm like, yeah. Woo!
Yeah, people really dug it, man, and a lot of good feedback. A lot of people saying, "Please do another one" and stuff like that. So all of my doubts about could we do it or should we do more kind of went out the window. And I think we must continue now. I think it only gets better from here.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've written the material, and I think it's pretty good.
I'm really excited about it. I think accomplishing things is all about confidence and hard work. and I think we know we can do it. And I think we learned a lot from doing the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's time to keep the crazy train rolling.
Yeah.
I think the plan, I would like to do 2 episodes a month.
Wow.
I don't know if we can do that. I think it's going to be like an 8 or 9 season, 8 or 9 episode season.
From what we've gone over, that seems about right.
I think that's about right. I'd like to do 2 a month. We'll see how it goes. No promising that.
February's a short month.
Well, there won't be another one in February. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, that's cool.
So maybe starting in March, we'll get two a month maybe.
That would be nice.
Because it's ready to roll. I think we got stuff done. I got more songs for it.
Yeah, I just got to, finish sewing my costume.
That was like a really fun part for me is I could put the songs in, write these goofy songs. And
yeah, dude, my friends listen to it. They want the song, man. So
what I'd love to do if the series continues to be popular and stuff, what I'd like to do is after we're done, because I'm still writing some of the songs.
Yeah.
But maybe actually go into like a real studio.
Yeah.
And then record like an actual soundtrack for it.
Oh yeah. That'd
be really cool. I might consider doing that.
That would be awesome.
That'll be like, several months down the line, but I think that'd be cool. So that's that. Do you have anything else to say about Schnoz-man and HolePunch?
It was way more fun. I mean, it was hard when we were doing it. We were running around all day. I was sweating to death in my costume. My hands were dying because they were stuck in latex gloves all day and couldn't breathe. But it was really a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to do some more of this stuff.
It's definitely pretty exciting and fun, so.
Yeah, and that we didn't get arrested, so yay.
The cops did come. We got to talk about that. We filmed in this one location, and we got a lot of the stuff, like the stuff with the, you see like a trailer.
Yeah.
Where OG's outside.
Just a big parking lot.
The graffiti area, the fence where he runs around. And then we, like, as soon as we left, we started leaving, then the cop showed up, and he just parks in the lot.
Yeah.
And we just like, we were done. I was like, oh my God, thank God.
I don't know if he was there for us or if he was there for some other reason, because I've seen police officers there before.
Yeah. No, it seemed like a place like a cop would hang out.
Yeah, also funny.
Well, I was like, oh man, I think we got all the shots before this dude came.
Yeah, also funny. Oh yeah, that would have been awful. Unless, of course, he was cool and wanted to hang out and be on film, but I don't think police officers like being filmed much nowadays.
Yeah.
But one other thing, we're walking back from we left there, we walked to another location, we're walking back, and I just hear some noise to my right. Some dude's fixing his car, singing the 1960s Batman theme.
Yeah, I got some weird. There's a guy. He's like, what do you got there, a plunger? and there's a dude that came up to us asking for directions.
Yeah, the second we reached the street,
I had just left my camera, house. A tripod.
I just left my house. We just reached the street, and the guy just pulls right up to me and asks me for directions. And we couldn't get the camera out in time. It was killing me. I didn't even think to pause and say, hold on, let us get the camera set up. And that was just amazing.
Well, you guys started asking, like, if you're driving around and you need directions, would you stop and talk to this guy wearing like a mask and a cape? And then I was like scrambling because I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. I was trying to get the camera out. I started recording, the lens cap was on. And then by the time I got it off, it was done. I was like, oh, that would have been great.
Well, I'll be honest, man. I was in New York City dressed as Monarch Henchman number 24 or 21, whichever, depending on whether I was with my shorter friend or not. And people were asking me for directions there, too. Heck, I was in Baltimore dressed in a costume and people asked me for directions. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's my true calling.
Maybe.
I'm Map Man. I'll tell you wherever you need to go.
You totally rework the character completely.
I'm the cartographer.
So I think we're good for the show this week. Anything else you want to discuss?
Man, I think we're pretty chill.
All right, that was a good episode, I think.
I think so.
New beginnings. I'm excited about the future of the show. I'm excited about the future of Schnoz-man and HolePunch, JohnRamboPresents channel, all that stuff. I think it's time to go play some more Twisted Metal.
Oh, yeah, sounds like a plan.
So that's going to do it for the show. We'll be back next week. For OJ, this is John signing off. Thank you for listening to JohnRamboPresents, the best in free and optional entertainment. Good night.